Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This video is the second part of the Einstein chatbot I had made earlier. So in that video I had talked about how we can implement the Einstein chatbot, how we can add it into the Visual Force page or any page we can add into it, and how we can deploy the embedded system. And we didn't talk about much about how to implement the chatbot and how to configure it inside the chatbot and how it can give messages to the user. So in this video we'll talk about it and we'll see how we can implement that. So let's get started. First we'll go to the setup, we'll search for bot. This was the bot we had used last time. So this is how it's gonna look like the first time when you see the Einstein chatbot builder. This is how the UI gonna look like. So let me just delete this one. So right now you can see that the chatbot is deactivated, and this is the basic thing which you're gonna see. This is the welcome part. In welcome part you're gonna have one message and the next step whatever you want to do in the main menu also. Just save the changes. This is the main menu which you can configure. This is the component. Okay, so in this component you can add anything you want as per your requirement, and you can configure the things. In file you can add files to give the user or send the user a file, or you can ask file from the user too. In the messages part you can give some messages to the user. You can ask questions from them. You can use components like form or payment method or questions, something like that. You can also use custom epics, flows, and other things. You can even send emails to the users, and these are the rules which you can use. We'll see how we can use that. And this is the next step, what you want the next step to be. This is transfer to agent. So transfer to agent is for example, you are talking to the chatbot and later on you want to talk to the agent. So the flow will take you there, and then after that the chatbot will take you from the chatbot to the agent. They will connect you to the agent basically. This is the end chat. So whenever you will end the chat, this message you're gonna see. These are like what I can say, these are like folders. In that folders you have these things, and like you will have some flow which will be connected to each other, and those flows will give you the text based on it. So something like this is confused. So sometimes the user inputs something which is not understandable by the chatbot, so you're gonna receive this message. You can even edit it as per your requirement. If there is no agent, for example, you will get this message, and we'll see how this happens. So let's go to the welcome menu, and you see that this is for just example. So you see when I hover into this I get one plus sign. So when I click this first plus sign, I'm gonna get these components. Okay, so for example I want to display a message, so I will use this. Okay, after this you're gonna write some message. So hello, my name is chatbot. So if you're gonna do this and save this, and when you activate this chatbot, you're gonna first get this message and then this message. So whatever message you will write, it will be able to display that. So we don't want this, so we will delete this. I'm just showing you the things which are there in the chatbot, and hover, and like let's take one scenario in which the chatbot will verify the email address. So okay, so let's take a scenario in which a user gives the email address and the chatbot verifies it with the help of OTP. So it sends an OTP to that email address whichever the user provides, and then it will see if that email address is verified or not. So let's implement that. So what we're gonna do is first we're gonna ask a question. So let's take static question, and we'll ask please provide please provide me your email address. And we gonna have choices. uh, Choices remain the same, static one, dynamic, whatever. Dynamic means whatever user inputs the message, the chatbot's gonna respond basically to that input. And you can add choices and menus, add choices. We don't want all this, okay, right now. And like these are the like giving you the choices, like a menu. You can provide some menu and the user can choose from that menu. And this is the entity name. So here what you're gonna do is you're gonna save the value which is given by the user. So you will create one variable. So that variable gonna be email address because they are inputting email address. And then you gonna create one email address. So next you will create here, and it will be like email address, okay, and API name, and save. Okay, so what is gonna happen here is when the user will input their email address, the email address will get stored in this variable. So later on what will happen is this chatbot will use this variable, and whatever the value it stores, it will display that value to the user in that chatbot. Okay, so next is skip this question if the variable already contains a value. Okay, so this is like if the variable already contains a value, then it will not ask this question, or you can choose as per your requirement. So we're gonna leave it like this only. And we have repairing misunderstanding. So for example, if the user has given wrong email address or invalid email address, this message is gonna pop up again and again until the user gives the correct email address. Okay, because of this option we have chosen here. After this we'll add one more message component here, message. And we're gonna tell that the email address, we will confirm the email address to them. So your email address has been captured as. And here we'll give the email address which user have provided. We will tell them this is your email address. So what we're gonna do here is we will use the API name of the variable. So we will do one curly braces open, then exclamatory mark, and then the email address, the variable we had created here. So the API name will be email address score address, and curly brace off, and then this. And we'll save this, and let's see if it's coming or not. We'll activate this. And let's see in our page. Let's refresh. uh, Now you can see that the chatbot has been joined, and it is asking for the email address. So I'll provide the wrong email address first. So let's see, Gmail. Okay, so this is the wrong email address, the format is wrong. So it is again asking me the question. So if I'll give the correct one, see, it has given me the email address which I gave to the chatbot. So this is how the chatbot is gonna work. The next part we gonna see is how this email address gonna be verified by the chatbot. So the next part is we'll deactivate this chatbot, and we'll have to we will have to add the flows in it so that the chatbot will work accordingly. So go to the setup page and write flows. We can either create the new flow, or we can clone one flow which is already given by Salesforce. We have one here, so I'll go and choose that. So this is email code custom. This is I have created, so I'll just show you how it works. So this is an auto launch flow. We have used a send code action which will send an email to the email address you will provide, and you have to give this. This is the email which will go, and we have used here one variable. This is a formula variable, and it will generate the code. I'll show you what is the formula behind this, and the email address list, whatever the list is given, it will give the code to that, and sender email address and verification code subject. Okay, and then we have the assignment set. So what it will do is it will generate the code, and it will save it into the verification code variable. Okay, so here, if we'll go here and see the variables, so we have generate code variable. In this variable, this is a type of formula field, formula data type, and this is the formula which will generate the code. So here what happens is, here I have given 8, and here also I have given 8. So this 8, what will do is, it will generate 8 numbers for the OTP. Okay, if you will give 6 here or 5, whatever, so it will generate that length of OTP. So you can check the syntax, it is valid and done. Okay, and then we have this one email address which is storing the email address. See, it will store the email address, and it is available for input, and done. And then we have the other is email sent. This is a boolean type. So this variable will, see, this is a boolean type variable, and this is for output. It will check if the email is correct or not. And then other we have is root id, routable id. This routable id is again available for input, and it is of text field, text data type, and this routable id will be used in the chatbot flow. Okay, so this is needed. And the other thing we have is verification code. Verification code is also a variable, and it is a text type, and this verification code is available for output because it will give the output to the user. Okay, so this, and I will just give you one other flow which will validate the code is correct or not. So this is the one, send verification email and verify email code. I have cloned this flow and using it. So this is the email code which will send the verification code to the user, and it will verify. Okay, so if you want to debug this, so email address, it will send the email address, and then this will send the email address as a OTP, and it will work like that. And we'll just debug once and see. So if I'll give the, see, the verification code will be given, and it is sent, and this will be the generated verification code, and this is the code which will also send only, I guess. So let me just see once. Yeah, it is the same one. So just let me give few minutes to verify. So this is done, and we'll save as new version and save, and we'll activate this. Okay, and the other one is verify code custom. So this is already activated, so I'm just going to tell you what it does is, so code check, so it will check the user code with the verification code. In the previous flow we had seen the generate code variable will generate the code and it will store it into the verification code. This verification code will be checked with the user code which will be provided by the user. This user code, what it will do, whatever the user will provide the OTP number, it will store into the user code, and the verification code will be the one which is generated by the generate code and sent to the email. So now what it will happen, it will check if these are true, if these are same or not. If these are equal, then this it will tell the sent code is true, which is it is verified, and if the numbers are not matched, then the verification is not correct, it is false. Okay, and this is how it's gonna do. And now we're gonna use these flows in the chatbot. So after this we gonna send one more message to the user. Let's just hover into this and provide a message as, please verify. Please verify your email address to the code. Um, I'm gonna repeat this again. So now we will add the one message component which will tell to verify the code to the user. So what we're gonna do is, here we're gonna put some simple message, please verify. Please verify the email address. We have sent a code. We have sent a code to the provided email address. Okay, and save this. And now we're gonna use the flow which I just showed you. So what you're gonna do is, you're gonna hover here, and now you have to use a flow. So first what we'll do, we'll put a condition here first. So use a condition, this is called dialog. So what it will do, the condition is add condition, and in this condition we're gonna use the email address which is provided by the user. So the email address is here. If this is set, then dialog name, we need to create one dialog name which will go and call the verify dialog. So verify, if the email is provided, verify email. Okay, so this dialog will verify the email, and keep this to none, and save this. So after this you will see that one dialog has been created, a folder kind of thing. Okay, so if the email address is provided and it is true, so it will take you to this verify email. So this, save this part, and in this verify email we will use those flows which will verify the email. So here I'm gonna add a flow here. So this is the flow, In this flow we will add the code custom one, and please note that the flow which you're gonna use here should be active, then only you're gonna see it here. So email address, and store this email address to the email address provided by the user, and in routable id you have to use the routable, so this, okay. And then in output you have to use verification code, because the verification code has to be given. So here you have to create a verification code variable, verification code. It will save the verification code and save. So here you have used it, and then in the email sent you have to use is verified, one more variable which will compare these datas with the value you have in the flow. So is verified and save. So now we're gonna see how we can get the OTP from the user. So we'll create a variable here by asking a question. So one second, provide the OTP, and we'll create one text field here. The name will be no, use the text field here, okay. And then here you have to select the variable and create a variable as OTP, save it. The object name already exists as or has been previously used. Choose a different name. Oh, this name is already used, so we're gonna use different name. We'll use user code and save. Okay, now after this we're gonna save this changes, and we have to use the flow for verification, which is gonna check the user code and the verification code. So go to the flow, add the flow which we have, verify code custom, and here you have to select the verification code, this one which we had created, and then in the user code you will choose the user code, so this, okay. And for the is boolean one you have to use is verified boolean, okay. And then you have to save this. After this you have to add one call dialog and just say if this condition is true, then the email is verified, or like that. So in add condition, go here and one rule which will just tell or send a message to the user, the email which is if the code is correct then the email is verified, if the code is incorrect then the email is not verified. So use the condition here is verified. If it is true, then what you have to do is you have to select one message, just change this call dialog to send a message, and the message should be verified, verified, okay. And again you have to use one more component here, save, and one more component here with the same thing but for the incorrect one. So if set variable, if is verified variable is set to false, that means the email is not verified. You can even use this condition again and again to ask until this OTP is verified or the email address is verified. Save this and we'll check the flow. This is activated, and now we will refresh this page and we'll see. Let's start this. The bot has joined. Please provide me your email address. So I'm gonna provide the email address. First I'll provide the wrong email address to see the error. It will ask me again, so, and it says verified. If I would have provided the wrong, then it would have given me the wrong, like not verified. So this is how we're gonna implement the chatbot for the verification of email. We can use the chatbot in other purposes also. In other, you can ask as a input, you can give the options to the user to select from it, and that's how we're gonna implement the chatbot. And that's all for today. Thank you.